My name is Anne Carrick. I'm the Administrative Operations Manager at Import Controls. And I just really wanted to build, I suppose, firstly on what Ray had said, and then I wanted to just discuss another couple of issues that we're in the process of looking at and that may be of interest to you. So first of all, I think we can safely assume that the majority of people here are already registered with us and are likely to be already importers. If that isn't the case, and you haven't yet registered and you haven't yet been someone who's brought in products, please visit our Brexit page, and that's really the place to start. For most people, though, I think, as I said, you're already with us and you're using probably what we call the anonymous portal, which just means on INIS, when you come through, and each time you have to give an email address and you have to give details. So it's a bit like you are a guest on a website. This registered portal that we've just had the presentation by Ray has been available since January, but it hasn't been used, and we are now kind of looking for people to start using it. The functionality that Ray has just described is newly added to it, and as I said, I know we have a small number of people already using it, but now what we need to do is for anybody using the anonymous portal to move across, and I think probably having seen what Ray has shown you, you can see the benefits of why. So the idea of it is that you will be able to track all of your consignments. So you'll come in, you will not have to keep registering and giving email addresses each time. And that does answer to this issue of group email addresses. Now, when you would have registered with us, you would have gotten to a certain stage in the process in terms of getting a properly registered account. So we would have written out to you at the time, and it would have been to the administrator, the main administrator on the Traces account, which is who we consider is our main contact point as you're someone responsible for the consignment or an agent. At that point, you would have been given either a form to fill in, which would entitle you to apply for an account for yourself, or you would have actually been given an account, which would be in the form of what they call an AGR number. You're also giving a book code, and that enables you to register and get your first, to pick an account for yourself. So the first time you would log in, you would then choose an account. If you've managed to get that far, then that's what you now have. You have your own AGR number as the administrator, and you also have the code. So you would be able to start using the registered portal straight away, and maybe you already have. Then the question becomes, how do you now get other people onto it? Because naturally, in a lot of cases, you have perhaps 5 or 10 other staff also doing the same work. And really what we need there is that they also fill in the same form again. Now, to that end, our registrations team have written out to quite a number of you already, and we've waited for responses to come back with those forms to now say, as the registered owner of that account, please now write in with all the names of your staff, do a form for each staff member, and they will be issued with their own unique identifier as a registered user and their own account. That means that when you all log on to see, you will log on to see the same account. So that should answer that issue that people have raised about group emails. You know, really by doing this, we're hoping to take a lot of this out of email, and now it will be all done, and the interactions will be done through the portal. So you'll log on, you'll put stuff up onto that portal that you know that we're waiting for. Maybe there's documents we need, or you press on a particular area. And ideally, again, any member of your team, if you have 10 people on the team, they will all log in and they will all see the same thing. What you will have been given is a unique INI number. That's a unique identifier, which just basically tells the system, okay, I need to log on and this is for my company, and I will see everything registered or logged on, or, you know, assignment put up for that particular company. Okay, so that's what the intention of that is. So if, as I said, you already have your own AGR number as our main account contact, what you need to do now is to send in the form again. If you need more details on it, you can contact us at Brexit registration at agriculture.gov.ie. And you'll be able to contact us on that. So I don't know if there's some background noise coming through there. If you can hear it. We might just make sure everybody else is on mute. Apologies. Tom, you might just take a look. And this is just at my end. But so basically that's what you will now do. So if you already have your own AGR number, please make sure that you fill in the form that we've sent you. If you don't and you want to do that, please do so, and you can also do a form, as I said, for your staff. But that will then get everybody access to their own account registered on the system. And as I said, that will hopefully do away with the problems that we do have, as that perhaps we're interacting with one of your staff, or you're interacting with one of ours through their own email addresses, and somebody leaves the office or changes over on a shift, as is the case here. And what happens then is we have nobody able to take over straight away. So what this will do is everybody will see the communications back and forth in the portal, and we'll be able then to kind of hand over from one staff member to another. So that should allay some of those issues that I know probably you're experiencing at the moment for those of you with kind of a number of employees in your company. Again, any further details needed, you can get information on our Brexit web page, or Brexit registration at agriculture.gov.ie will help with that. Okay, so we are going to be withdrawing the anonymous portal. All right, so we at the moment don't have a date as yet, but we will be withdrawing it. So you will need to move across and make sure that you move across in plenty of time, so that you can still kind of continue to read your work with us and to notify us of your consignments. So if I can ask everybody to go back and take a look at the paperwork that they've had and the emails they've had from our unit on that matter, but that would be the place to start. Just then, it brings into the question, and I just wanted to let you know that the interview. As Hazel said at the beginning, I think we've kind of come a long way. We are still experiencing very high numbers of calls and emails. At the moment, we're processing about 200 phone calls a week into our main reception here, and about 3,000 emails a week, which is quite considerable. So to that, we've been looking at this with the portal is one way where we, as you can see, we're going to hopefully improve our communications with you. Second, so that's really kind of, I suppose, the first pillar of that. Secondly, what we're going to do is we are going to be closing down our import controlled mailbox. As you're aware, we have two main mailboxes. We have a number of smaller ones as well that we deal with. These. Our two main ones are import controls and the BCP Dublin Port. Now, what's happened is most people, and I'm sure you're all aware of this yourselves, are sending emails to both when you email us. And the problem with that, as you can imagine, is we see an awful lot of duplication. So we will be closing down the import controls inbox, and in future you should use Dublin Port, the Dove Port email address going forward. That enables us then to streamline and reduce down the number of duplications, which, as I said, should reduce the numbers. Instead of 3,000, we will have less, because we do know a number of those are duplicates, but they're still causing work in terms of having to process them. So it will enable us to get to your email quicker when we do that. So that's really kind of, I suppose, the second part of that we will then be reducing that down. The third part is we are looking, and we're piloting at the moment, an IT, a sort of a help desk, a ticketed system. If you've interacted with us on invoicing, you'll see we've already done it on that, and we're using that mailbox and testing that at the moment. I would hope if that's successful that we would move that on out. That will give you then, when you send in an email, you will get an individual ticket number, and it would allow us to track that and to track our interactions with you back and forth until your email is answered successfully, and we can close off the ticket at that point. So this is all improvements, I suppose, that we're now bringing in with the intention of improving how we communicate with you and how you communicate with us. And I think, it's important that we sort of, as I say, continue to sort of look at this and try and streamline this and make sure that we're getting back to people, and answering the questions that they need answered as soon as we can do it. So I hope that you'll kind of find all of these a bit of a welcome improvement in what is a very complicated and complex system, as you can, I'm sure, all appreciate. So that's it. Looking forward to hearing any questions you might have around that sort of at the end, because I know we've left them some time for Q&A. So with that in mind, I'll just hand you over to our next speaker. Thank you, Tom.